Okay, so we are beginning. Okay, you're free to stop me anywhere you want, and I'll try to explain. Okay, so um, there are 6 different types of essays in your book: agree, disagree essays, positive, negative development, advantage, disadvantage essays, problem solution essays, discussion essays, and direct essays. So there are 6 types of essays in total. The thing is, all the essays have a particular pattern, except agree, disagree. Discuss essay has a particular pattern. Advantage, disadvantage has a particular pattern. Discuss essay has a particular pattern. Positive, negative, problem solution, all of these essays have a particular pattern. Agree, disagrees don't have a particular pattern. And one more essay, direct essays, even they don't have, but they're very few and they're asked very rarely. So they're not a big deal. So what I've done to make it easier, I've divided agree, disagree essays into different categories so that it makes your job easier. How to attempt them. Okay, so I'll go over the essay categories and then then we'll try to see how to attempt them. And this is more going to be a learning class because I want your participation. I haven't written down how to attempt it. I'm going to make you think and write at the end, by the end of it. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so the first essay type that I want to cover is ban essays. This is the simplest essays. I always start with them in agree, disagree. This is the simplest. So what is this essay type? They ask something should be restricted because of its disadvantages. So for example, here they're saying some people believe that air travel should be restricted because it causes serious air pollution and uses up the world's fuel resources. To what extent do you agree or disagree? And there are about 10 to 15 essays of this type in your book. There are essays on um, sports competitions should be banned. Dangerous adventure sports should be banned because of its drawbacks, because of their drawbacks. There Fast food advertisements should be banned because they're bad for children. Like that. There are many ban essays. Air travel, we have just done air travel should be banned because of the drawbacks. So like this, there are many essays. We'll see how to attempt it. This is the first category. I call it the ban category. They want something to be banned because of its disadvantages. Okay. The second essay type in agree disagree is best essays. Best means what? Sabse acha if I talk about it in Hindi, or the most effective, like superior to everything else. So for example, this question type is like that. They'll give a solution and they'll say this is the best solution to the problem. Or they'll say something is the most important factor in regards to something. And we have to say whether it is the best solution or there are better solutions than this, or is this the number one solution? For example, there's a question in your book that the best solution to environmental problems is increasing the price of fuel, like in making petrol and diesel costlier. That's the best solution to environmental problems. I do not agree with that because I believe fuel is a necessity today. Even if the prices go up, we are still going to use cars and motorcycles. We are dependent upon them. We cannot stop using them. So a better alternative would be to provide alternatives like electric vehicles. So that is not the best solution. I've given questions here also. So they are this question, whether or not someone achieves aim in their life is mostly a question of luck. So they are saying the most important factor in success is luck. So, and you're going to answer whether luck is the most important factor in success or it's something else. I would certainly disagree with it and say hard work is the most important and not luck. But these are the essay types. This is the second essay type where they call something the best solution or they call something the number one thing. So you have to prove that it is the number one or it is not the number one. That's what we are going to do here. It's the best.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. In the pre.
The one you taught us in class, like the science subject one, like so it comes under this category.
Um, I
Science has become more important. Schools should teach science as compared to other subjects.
No,
That one.
That would be another category. This is the most one. Like if they said science is the most important, I would consider it this one. But
Okay.
for that, I'll compare the more one, where we are directly comparing two things. So science
Okay.
and other things. Okay.
Okay.
Um, and I think I didn't cover it with you. I think maybe Deepak sir or Simran ma'am did, right? I don't think I taught that. Did I teach that one?
Yes, you did. I think you and Deepak sir, you both did.
Okay, okay, got it. Okay. Yes, the very first day I remember. Okay, got it. Okay, next one. Comparison essays. Here, this is the one, the best essays. The best means number one. We have to prove that it is not number one. That's it. Or we have to prove it is number one. Okay, let's move to the next one. The next one is comparison essays part one. Here, we are going to say something is more important than others or less important. Here, in this case, they say many people regard films as less important forms of art than literature and painting. So they're comparing art, movies with literature and painting, and they're saying films are less important than literature and painting. Or you can consider it the other way around, that literature and painting are more important than films. So this is the next type, when they're saying something is more than others or something is better than others. So this is the next essay type. Okay. The next one would be it's the same type, but they say something should not be done because the other option is better. So, for example, let's look here.
Okay.
Today, more and more people are using computers and other electronic devices to access information. So, printing of books should not be done. Here, they're not saying that second is not done. They're just saying the first option is better than the second option. The difference here is they're saying second should not be done because first is important and the second is zero. Second should not be done at all. Yes, Prashantham?
So I cannot see that in the screen, whatever you are talking.
I'm not.
Yes, me neither.
None of you can see?
No.
Now we can. I can.
Now you
Okay,
can.
we can now.
Okay, maybe there was a problem. Is it okay now for everyone? Were you able to see everything that I was covering till now or no? Everything went.
Just now we couldn't. It's the third one only. Other thing we have seen.
You did not see the first one, the second one, third one. No, nothing.
No, first two we have seen. So this third one only.
Okay, let's do the third one again. So third one, they say that something is better than others. So the third one is that category for me. They'll say one thing is less than others. I'll give you another example. So they say studying world history is more important than local history. There's one question like that in your book. They say something is better than others, like physical activities are more important or better than computer games. There's a question like that. So all of these questions are comparison questions. In one case, they just say one thing is better than the other. In the second case, they say the second category of this is that something should not be done because the other thing is better. For example, here they are saying more and more people are using computers and other electronic devices. Yes, Prashantam? Any other doubt? Or is it clear?
No, sir. I didn't raise any.
Okay, okay. So in this case, they're saying printing should not be done um because people can look at it by like they're using computers for accessing information. So printing should not be done. Again, they're comparing two things. One thing is books and other thing is ebooks, or in a way electronic information. They're saying electronic information is better, so it's there, so you can stop printing of books. So that's the category I formed for the second one. It's kind of similar, but there are, remember in these questions, there are always two things with you. You have two things. For example, films are less important than literature and painting. Um, Books are less important in a way than computers and other electronic devices in a way. So they give comparison, they give you two things to compare with. That's the case here in the third and the fourth one. In the most important one, they're not going to compare with anyone. They're just going to say this is the most important. You have to on your own think of different ideas. For example, you have to think that success depends upon what other factors besides luck. And you're going to say which factor is the most important. You are going to write that. You have to think. You have to do that job. For example, in my case, I think success depends upon hard work. Success depends upon determination. Never give up attitude. Like even if you fail, you're going to continue working hard and not give up after one go. So that's important. Determination is very important in my opinion. So like that, you have to think of the factors. Okay. Let's move on. Two different question concepts. This is the category that I have made. All these categories are in my opinion. I have not seen it somewhere else, but that's the way I try to attempt them. So in this question, what happens? They give you two questions. They're separated by an and. For me, what do I think normally what happens here is I tend to agree with one thing and I tend to disagree with the other thing. So I'll show you. Some people feel that foreign companies should be shut out and instead the government should help the local companies to contribute to economic growth. So here there are two paths. I feel there are two paths. Foreign companies should be shut out. Like no foreign companies should be allowed. The second part is the government should help the local companies. Now, in my opinion, I agree with one thing, which is the government should help the local companies. But I do not agree with the other part that the foreign companies should be shut out because I think foreign companies also are also needed. So I do agree that local companies should be supported by the government, but I cannot agree with the second half, like one half. So for me, this is the question where there are two different things. You can agree with the one, you can disagree with the other. You can also agree with both of them. But there are two parts. How do I know there are two parts? They're normally separated by an and. So this is the fifth category. You have two types. You have to agree with one. You can agree with one and disagree with the other. That makes your job easier and it makes a well fleshed out essay. Okay. The last one is an advantage and disadvantage essay, which is disguised as an agree disagree essay. So let me show you. For example, they'll say multicultural societies bring more benefits than drawbacks. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Now it's an advantage, disadvantage essay, simple essay. They are saying the advantages of multicultural societies are more than the drawbacks. So you just have to answer, but they're not asking, are the advantages more than the disadvantages? They're asking, do you agree or disagree? This essay is similar to advantage, disadvantage essay. There's no difference. You're going to attempt it in the same way. So no difference at all. And the final category for me is which we can't classify. So there are essays, you'll try to put them in a category, you will not be able to put them in any category. For example, yes, Rajni.
Screen show नहीं हो रही.
आज अभी भी नहीं हो रही बीच में फिर there's a problem. When did it go up?
Sir, fourth पे hang हो गई वो.
अच्छा,
Yes. And more people are using computers.
okay. Let me see what's the problem. No, I'm on the right internet. Okay. Is it moving now or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It moved a bit. I still can't see the other parts though.
Okay, wait, let me stop share and share again.
Yes, sir, it's better now.
Okay, everyone, is it better now? Others?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ahmed. So what parts did you miss? The fifth one you missed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll quickly explain this. So some people feel that foreign companies should be shut out and instead the government should help the local people, local companies. So what I do is I agree with one half. See, the foreign companies should be shut out. I am disagreeing with this. I don't want foreign companies should be shut out. But I do agree with the second half that the government should help the local economies, local companies to contribute to the economic growth. So you agree with one half of the question and you disagree with the other half. So I call it two different question concepts are there. You can agree with one, you can disagree with the other without conflicting, like without causing a problem. So this is what I do in this question. And how do I know this is this type of question? I can go here. There's an and written. So the and helps me. I come to know, okay, there are two different things happening. I'll agree with the first clause and I'll disagree with the second clause, or vice versa, or vice versa. I'll agree with the first half and disagree with the second, or the other way around, like I said. Next one, advantage, disadvantage, visible, right? Sixth one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so advantage, disadvantage is just an essay like advantage, disadvantage. But they are, instead of asking, do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Yes. They ask, do you agree or disagree? For example, in this question, they'll say multicultural societies bring more benefits than drawbacks. Instead of asking, are the, like, normally they ask, are the advantages of multicultural societies more than the drawbacks? Normally this question is like this. Do you think the advantages of multicultural societies are more than the drawbacks? So normally this is the question. But here they're going to say multicultural societies have more benefits, and then they are going to ask you, do you agree or disagree? So it's just an advantage, disadvantage essay. It's disguised in the form of an advantage, disadvantage, agree, disagree essay. The attempting process will be the same. We'll treat it like an advantage, disadvantage essay only. No difference. Okay. And the last essay would be, you can't classify into any category. And there are questions like that. There are so many questions which you can't classify. You have to treat them individually. You have to think of them individually, one by one. You can't have a generalized way of attempting them. So for example, let's look at this question. Society is based on rules and laws. If individuals were free to do whatever they wanted to do, it could not function. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So there's no category here. You have to think what you want to do. अगर freedom होती सबके पास, if there was absolute freedom, the society would crash. That's what the question is. Okay. So these are the categories for me, the 6 main categories. I'll repeat them again. The first one is the ban essays. Something should be banned because of its drawbacks. The second essay would be something is best. It's better than everything else. So it's the most important factor. Like money is the most important factor for working. Like people work, the main reason why people work is money. Other factors are less important than money. Okay, something is the best solution to something. So these are the second type of essays. The best essays or the most important essays, I would say, where the word most or something like that is used. For example, here, the most important decision that young people have to follow is what career to choose. So the biggest decision people have is the most important decision is the career choice. The third essay would be comparison essays, third and fourth essays. Here we are comparing two things. For example, films are less important than literature and painting. Or we are comparing, like here we're comparing e-material videos and non-printed material with printed material. That printed material is not important because people are using non-printed material nowadays, e-books and videos for studying. Okay, then two different concepts. The question is a lengthy one. It's separated. There are two parts to the question. There's an and in the middle. You agree with one half, you disagree with the other half, or you agree with both. That is also fine. But there are two distinct halves. You can do anything with both of them. You can treat them like two separate questions. Okay. The sixth one is an advantage, disadvantage essay. I'm not going to touch this again because it's the same as advantage, disadvantage essay. And I'm going to cover in advantage, disadvantage essays rather than here. And the last one, there are essays that you can't classify into any category. So this is the last one. I'll give you another example. Like recently I was covering an essay in class. Some people believe that they should not pay any taxes to the government and they should keep all the money that they have earned. Do you agree or disagree with them? So basically you should not pay any tax and keep all the money. So that's the question. So you can't put them in any category. So these are the 7 categories of agree, disagree essay that we are going to try to cover. And my approach today would be to teach you how to attempt them, and tomorrow how to attempt, like how to think about them. How can we attempt them to form that thinking today? And tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we can actually do the writing part, like focus on the writing part. Partially, I'll do that today also. Okay. Before continuing further, I want to mention this thing. Agree, disagree essays are asked in two forms. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Do you agree or disagree? So they ask them like this. To what extent do you agree or disagree? And do you agree or disagree? For our purpose, both the essays are same and need not be differentiated. So we are not going to differentiate between both these essays. We are going to consider them the same. For IELTS, this is just the paraphrasing of it. They are just the paraphrasing of each other. So this is the paraphrasing of this. For some other essays, for some other purpose, there might be two different ways of attempting them, but not here, not for IELTS. They are the same. And I'll tell you this, there's a lot of misinformation about this on YouTube. But I'm pretty sure what I'm telling you that they are the same and they need not be differentiated. So you can blindly follow this approach. I've confirmed this with the IELTS examiners as well. But on a lot of YouTube websites, on YouTube and a lot of websites, you'll find that they need to be attempted differently. Not so. Okay. For all the essays, we have three options. The first option would be you can go one-sided, which means you can completely agree or completely disagree for all the essays. And the second option would be to go partial. So basically there are three options: completely agree, completely disagree, or partial. Or you can say two options. Either you can make a one-sided essay or you can make a partial essay. Okay. So now let's see how to attempt them. I'll take one by one. We'll take one by one questions and we'll see the approach to attempt them. Are we clear till now? I'm sorry, I did not ask any questions till now. So are we clear till now, or are there any questions? Anyone has any doubts? Amit, for you? Okay, no. Okay. So let's go with the first one. Okay. Some people believe that air travel should be restricted because it causes serious pollution and uses up the world's fuel resources. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So the first thing that you need to do in the introduction is to write the topic, paraphrase the topic. And I paraphrase it like this: it is believed by some that air travel should be prohibited as it leads to many severe problems like air pollution and excessive use of fossil fuels. I've just paraphrased the topic. I want to add something. Even if the essay does not mention some people believe, I am going to write that at the beginning of my introduction. Why am I going to write that? I'll tell you what I mean. Let's take this question. Society is based on rules and laws. If individuals were free to do whatever they wanted to do, it could not function. If I just copy pasted and paraphrase this, if I just copy pasted and paraphrase this without writing it is believed by some, so I'll just paraphrase it like, I'm just paraphrase this, but I don't write it is believed by some, then it would be taken that you agree with it because you are writing it. I write it is believed by some to show that someone else believes it. I haven't shared my opinion. See, it is believed by some because this is somebody else's opinion. I am yet to form my opinion that whether I agree with them or I disagree with them. So even if the question does not have it is some people believe, like this question has some people believe, but the second question does not have some people believe, I am going to write that at the beginning of an agree disagree essay just to make it clear that this is not my opinion. This is somebody else's opinion. My opinion is going to come later with the word I. I'm going to use the word I and give my opinion. Okay, Amit, let's see. Is it fine if I change 2 to 5 words in the introduction of the essay? It is fine to change 2 to 5 words, but a better paraphrasing would be when you try to change the sentence structure only, when you're comfortable doing it. That means you're comfortable. And even without paraphrasing, paraphrasing is the least important thing. Remember, this line, you're just copying the introduction. You might be paraphrasing it, you might be changing 2-3 words, but ultimately you're just copying. So it doesn't fetch you a lot of bands. So don't overspend your time in paraphrasing this. It's not that important. Don't give it that much importance. It's just paraphrasing the question, and it doesn't have any bands. It doesn't have a lot of weightage. The main weightage is with the points and not with this part. And it is completely fine, Amit, to change 2 or 5 words, 2 to 5 words. In fact, I'll tell you, my student, he messed up his graph and he actually copy pasted the introduction from the question and he scored 7.5 bands. So even with copy pasting the introduction, he scored 7.5 bands. So it's not a big deal at all. Okay. So let's move on. How would you attempt it? I've done one for you. So now you have to form your opinion. For example, I'll give you examples. What do I mean by agree here? So you strongly agree. I will strongly agree that air travel should be restricted because of its adverse effects. Nothing else. I'll just write this line after this line and tell the examiner that I am strongly agreeing with this. No doubt in my mind that air travel should be banned. This clarity is really important. Okay, disagree. You can directly write, I do not agree that governments should restrict air travel. I do not agree with that. So you're going to write that. Again, clear. The examiner is clear. The third option would be to write a partial essay. Here I try to play around. I think, what can I do to make it partial? See, when someone tells me air travel should be restricted, I am against that. I don't want restriction on air travels. So I write, I cannot support a ban on air travel. But I do agree that it causes problems. So I played clever. I said, while I agree that air travel has some downsides, I cannot support a ban on air travel. So I'm agreeing that there are downsides, but I cannot support a ban. For example, the government might come up that they want to ban cars because of pollution. So I agree that cars cause pollution, but I do not want a ban on cars. I still think cars are really important. I think it'll be a mess to ban cars. So that's what you're doing. You're agreeing that there are drawbacks to it, but you're not going to agree with a ban on it. The same way there are questions about adventure sports. You can all agree that there are drawbacks to these sports and they can cause loss of life, but you cannot support a ban. Similarly, there's an essay that everyone should become vegetarian. So while I agree that vegetarian diet is healthier, I do not want to force everyone to become vegetarians. So like that, you're going to attempt it. Like, there are benefits of eating vegetarian diet the other way around, but I do not want everyone to stop eating non-vegetarian, or I do not want a ban on non-vegetarian food or meats. Non-vegetarian better, meats. So like that. Is this essay and the 3 ways to attempt it are clear? How do we write agree, disagree, and partial? Clear for the ban essays?
Yes, sir.
Now I've left everything. Now we are all going to sit together and we are going to make how to attempt it. What would I mean by completely agree? What would I mean by completely disagree? What would I mean by partial? So we are going to think. Before I come here, there are some problems in partial when you write partial. So sometimes I still tell students to write like that you are not completely agreeing. So one of my students came and he wrote, I partially agree with the statement. This is the worst opinion ever because this doesn't give any clarity to the examiner. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? If I wrote, I partially agree, I do not know which part the examiner agrees with and which part I'm agreeing with and which part I'm disagreeing with. What do I agree? What do I disagree? It makes no sense at all. Okay. The other way students write in partial, they write, while air travel does cause certain problems, I completely disagree with the statement. I do not know what statement you are disagreeing with, because the problems, air travel has problems, is also a part of the statement, right? That it is believed by some that air travel should be prohibited as it leads to many problems. So you're agreeing with that. You're saying while air travel does cause problems, but then you're also writing disagree. What I mean to say here is you need to be absolutely clear and partial. What do you mean by partial? You cannot just say partial and let the examiner think what I meant by partial. जब clarity नहीं होगी तो partial avoid करना है. You need to be absolutely clear. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? You have to tell the examiner that. You cannot take a middle way out. You cannot take a confusing approach and think you have confused the examiner. You have to choose a side properly. And if you disagree with something, you have to write, I disagree with that, but I agree with this part. For example, I clearly wrote here that I agree that there are downsides. I'm agreeing with that. I have no problems in agreeing with that, but I cannot support a ban. I'm telling you, I don't want a ban on air travel. I support it. I support air travel. So you have to be clear. And sometimes students do the exact opposite. They'll write both the things. In the first paragraph, they'll end up writing government should ban air travel. In the second paragraph, they'll end up writing government should not ban air travel. It becomes totally conflicting. Some students come to me and they say, sir, we'll write 70-30 approach. And 2 paragraphs for agree, 1 paragraph for disagree. That makes no sense. In 2 paragraphs, you're going to say there should be a ban. In 1 paragraph, you're going to say there should not be a ban. So choose a side, right? Why are you going to write there should be a ban and then there should not be a ban? That is totally like 180 degrees. Like one thing is pulling you here, the other thing you're going to Ludhiana, like you're going to North India and South India at the same time. It cannot happen. You have to pick a side. You have to be so clarity is needed in partial. If you're not clear, don't try it partial. Try to attempt it in one-sided. And if you have ideas to support a one-sided conclusion, yes. Yes, Prashantam.
No, sir.
Yes.
So in here, while I agree that the air travels has some downside, I personally believe the ban on air travel not the best solution. Can I write like that, sir?
Yes, you
Not a
can.
good solution.
Not a good solution. You can write perfectly well written. Now you're clear. You are not agreeing with the ban, but you agree that there are downsides. You are clear. There's no doubt in your head. You are not agreeing with the ban, but you're agreeing that it has downsides. No problem in that. Is it clear?
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now let's attempt this. This is the best essay. So how would you attempt this? Completely agree would mean what? What's the most important factor in success? Let's read the question. Whether or not someone achieves aim in their life. Aim means their goals in their life. Success is mostly a question of luck. Do you agree or disagree? So what do you all think? Agree.
Disagree.
You disagree with it. Okay. What would you write for disagree? What do you mean by disagree? What are you thinking in your head? Prashantam, tell me that. Then we'll form disagree.
I think the hard work and dedication is the only way to succeed.
Okay. They are the most important. You believe that the most important factor is not luck, but actually what?
Hard work and
So write that. I do not agree that luck is the most important factor. In fact, I believe what is more important, what is the most important factor, or what is more important than luck? Hard work and determination. I'm sorry, let me fix this. Are much more important than luck. So you just write what you mean by disagree. Bring clarity in your opinion. The examiner will give you a lot of bans if you're clear in explaining. So I do not agree that luck is the most important factor in success. In fact, I believe hard work and determination are much more important than luck. Very, very, very clear for the examiner. He'll say, okay, good opinion. And then in the essay, you're going to show how luck is not the most important or hard work and determination are more important than luck in this way. So you're going to write your points discussing that. You're not going to talk about the importance of luck at all. You're going to talk about the importance of other factors, hard work and determination, what you've written. Okay. And if we completely agree, what do we mean by that?
That we believe luck is most important.
Well, exactly right. That I truly believe, I completely agree. I strongly believe that it is, just to paraphrase, it is impossible to be successful without
Luck.
luck. Without luck. So that's it. Clear to the examiner that you're supporting Luck, you believe it is the most important factor because it is impossible to be successful without it. Or you can clearly simply write also, I strongly believe that luck is the most important factor. No, now I want someone to address a partial answer in this. Can someone make a partial answer for this? You're welcome to try. Everyone is welcome to try. And if you can't speak, you can type.
So
Yes.
while luck is one of important factor in determining while luck is important to be successful, but that is not the only.
Okay. Very
That is
good.
not the most important factor. There are some other factors too.
Okay.
So can I try?
Yes, you can try. Try, I'll write.
While I agree that luck is necessary to achieve something in life, I cannot deny that other factors like hard work, dedication, and patience are important.
I cannot deny that. Other factors like patience
Hard work, determination.
are completed. I cannot deny that other factors like patience, determination, and hard work
Are important as well.
are important. Okay. Okay. This is something that Yash wrote. While I agree that luck is important, but I believe other factors are also important. Okay. And this is what Amit wrote. While luck is important, ultimately, hard work and dedication influence success. Okay. Now I want you to rate them, which is the best one. It is believed by some, while there are some factors for hard work and dedication are also important. Okay, this is where we can buy. Okay. I'll wait just hold on. Income. Interpret. This is by Yash. And this is Amit. And finally, we have one. Elizabeth. Okay, so there's only one correct out of all these. Only one. You know which one? Okay, let's go one by one. Okay, let's go one by one. Elizabeth, this is confusing. It's not talking about luck. You have to paraphrase it better. So paraphrase it better. Luck is missing. While there are some factors, our hard work and dedication is also important. It's not making sense. Paraphrase it better. Okay. Okay. So let's leave this. What's the problem with this one? First, let's cover this one. What's the problem? Sorry. Okay. Let's not cover this one. Let's cover this one first. Third one. What's the problem with this one?
But I believe that the
Okay,
other
but
factors.
okay, but should not come. Now, is there a problem here or no? Is it good?
No,
No. What's the problem?
I agree that luck is important, but no, I believe that no, I believe also can. I believe that again he complicate that. I believe that have to remove.
Okay. Now, is it okay or no?
No.
Okay, let me answer this. Answer me this question by reading this line. What is the number one factor for success here? What is the number one factor? In this one, what is the number one factor? Can luck be the number one factor or no? After reading this line, can I say luck can be the number one factor or no?
No.
Why not?
I think the ones that we're not showing which one, in our opinion, is much important or
Yeah.
much more.
Yes, we are not clear. See, you're saying luck is important, but you're saying other factors are also important. Let them be important. The question is that luck is the most important. So I do not know which one is the most important. You did not answer the question. The question is asking you whether luck is the most important. You said luck is important. You said other factors are important. Okay. Is luck the most important or not? There are 5 factors. For all 5 are important. Which one is the number one? You did not answer that question. So I would have written here, other factors are more important. If I just wrote that, what would that mean?
That, in my opinion, luck is not that important, but other factors are.
Yes, that other factors are more important. So which cannot be number one? What is
Luck.
not number one? Luck. So I've
Luck.
answered the question now that luck is not the most important. I've told you luck is important, but it is not the most important because other factors, in my opinion, are more important. Okay, Prashantam, that's the same problem with you. Well, your answer. While luck is important, there are some other factors too. So what's the problem? There are other factors, but what is the most important? Tell me.
Other factors.
Are more important than luck, right? So you have to write.
Yeah.
Other factors are more important.
Mm.
Okay. I have made an error here. Can someone tell me the error? Why do I write? Is this correct or is there a problem? This one.
We're comparing, so I think it should be more important.
Yes, it should be more important. It should not be most important. See, the question is, if I write most important, most क्या होता है सबसे ज़्यादा. Most means more than everything else. I cannot call multiple factors most important. I can only call one thing most important. I cannot call 10 things most important. That does not make sense. For example, let's imagine there are 10 boys in my class. I said the first one is tall, but the other 9 are tallest. Tallest can be only one. There cannot be 9 tallest boys. So you cannot use superlative degree with many. You can only use more. Once you say other factors are more important, that automatically means luck is not the most important. Luck is not number one. When I wrote this, it is clear to the examiner that luck is not number one because others are more important than luck. That's it. I do not need to show which is number one. I do not care about that. The examiner is not asking you which one is the most important. The examiner is asking you that luck is the most important. I just need to tell the examiner it is not, other factors are more important than luck. I do not need to tell the examiner sabse upar kaun hai. The most important is which one. So this is fine. Do not use the word most with other factors. Okay. What's the problem with the second one? Again, the same thing in the Preet. What is most important?
It can't be told looking at the sentence what's more important.
Yes. Can luck be the most important?
I think other factors are more important.
But you did not write that, right? But when I read this, you said luck is essential, other factors are important. So that means other factors are also important, luck is also important. We are not answering which factor is the most important. So I would want to say, I cannot deny that other factors like patience are more important. That clarifies now that luck is not. Luck is essential. It is necessary for success, but it is not the most important factor. The most important factor is something else. They are more important. Other factors are more important than success than this. And instead of saying luck is essential, Luck plays a role. I would just say luck plays a role in success. That would be a better way of saying it. Because I don't want to write essential word. It's a very strong word, essential. Essential means we cannot be successful without lucky. So without luck, without being lucky. So I want to avoid that part. So I'll say, I'll agree that luck plays a role in success. I cannot deny that other factors are more important. So that would make it a perfect answer. And yours was perfect, Amit, because of which word? Which word made it perfect for you? You made an error first time, but the second one was perfect. Because of which word?
Ultimately.
Yes, ultimately. Because ultimately means if I look at it finally, the luck is important, but finally, what two factors influence success? Meaning they are more important. So ultimately, hard work and dedication influence success, meaning this is less important than them. Ultimately, these are the factors which influence success. Luck matters less. So that answers the question. So is this essay type clear for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's do the next one. Less important, more important. Okay. Completely agree. Very simple now. What does completely agree mean?
That we're agreeing with this given statement.
Which is what? Which means what?
Many people regard films as less important forms of art than literature and painting.
So what is less important? What is more important? Just agree. Paraphrase it for me.
They're saying that films are less important.
So we also agree that films are less important. So you completely agree that literature and painting are,
More important than films.
yes. Can you give me another word for more in the Preet? Which means it's better than films. They're better than films.
I can't think of the word.
Okay. Anyone else? Can you give me a word for more? Okay. What do we call Chinese products? Are they bad or good? What do we consider them? We use a word for Chinese products, which is a bad word. I want the opposite of that. Superior. We call them inferior. We call Chinese products inferior products because they're bad in quality or they're not up to the mark. So I completely agree that literature and painting are superior to films as an art form. Some people call it, now China's also changing. They make all types of products. Some of their products were inferior. Now they also come up with good products. So nothing against any country, just a point. Okay, so you can use that, just express it, right? Like that. I completely agree that literature and painting are superior to films as an art form. You can paraphrase. Paraphrase shows that you're comfortable with the language. Even if you don't paraphrase, it's fine. You can, but that's what I'm saying. Okay, next part. What if you have to disagree? What would that mean?
That films are more important, in my opinion.
Yes, and it could also have another meaning.
Equally important.
Yes, that would also mean you disagree because the question is saying that they are more important. So I do not agree that films are less important or so you can write that, or you can say, I do not agree, or I believe all of them are equally important. I do not think literature and paintings are better. I believe all the art forms are equally important in their own ways. You can write that, as important as. Yes, you can write that. Or you could even say what she said. She said what, that in fact, what is more important? In fact, they are
Films are
much more important.
equally.
No, if you can say equally important, but you can also say films are much more important. Is it clear? That can be one way to disagree. Equally important can also be another way to disagree. Which will be easier for you to prove? Films are more important or films are equally important? What would be easier for you to prove?
Equally.
Equally would be very tough, Prashantam. The number of points you have to give for films would be the same number of points you're going to give for what?
Arts and paint.
Yeah, literature and painting. It'll be very different. And the strength of the points should also be the same. So when I want to call something equally important, I'm very careful. I have equal number of points. I have the same number of points. I have the strength of the points is also the same. I'll take the easier approach otherwise. I'll say, in fact, films are much more important. I'll go with the easier one. I will not call it equally. I'll disagree like that, this way. Or I will say, I believe this is less important. Literature means books, like novels, books, like Shakespeare. Okay, partial, let's see. How would you make a partial here? They're calling films less important than literature and paintings. Or they're calling literature and paintings more important than films. Acha, before answering, tell me one thing. What do you think is more important, films or literature and painting? What do you think is more important in your opinion? पहले ये बताओ, फिर मैं partial बनाने, I'll help you in making partial. Okay, Amit thinks films are more important. What about others? What do others think?
Literature and painting.
You think books and paintings are more important? Okay.
Yes, I also agree that books and paintings are more important.
Okay, good. Okay, so you want to agree with this. You want to agree. That's your opinion. You are all believing that literature and paintings are more important. Okay, so you will agree with that. We'll agree with that. So I'll simply agree. While I agree that literature and paintings are more important than films. Okay, so you agree with this part. But now what you're going to say, films are also very important. They are less important. It does not mean movies are not important. Movies are also important in their own way. Or films are also important in many ways. So what you're doing is you are agreeing that literature and painting upar hai. They are above films. But you're saying movies are also important in many ways. You're saying films are also important in many ways. It's not like films are not important. Like we can stop making films. Why? Because books and paintings are more important. So let everyone make books and paintings. It's everyone write books and everyone starts making paintings. So I do not mean that. I mean that literature and painting are more important. Yes, they are more important in some ways, but movies are also important in many ways. Do you agree how I formed this essay? Is it clear how I formed it? Yes. Anyone has a
Yes.
doubt? Okay. So I want you to do the opposite thing now. Opposite का मतलब क्या है? Partially बनाना है. You're going to make partial only, but this time in favor of movies. Let's make. I want an essay where films are proven to be more important. Try.
While I believe that literature and painting are important forms of art, I deny that they are less important than. No, sorry, I messed it up. While I believe that literature and painting are more important forms of art,
Do not call
I,
them more. Do not call them more. If they are more than that means films are less. So are important forms of art. This part is correct for you. Go next.
I believe that films are much more important.
Very good. So, or you could have written, I cannot agree. What you can't agree with?
That films are less important.
Films are less important. And if you want more clarity, you can even add this part. In fact, I believe films are much more important. So that would make it clear that films are much more important. Now, you're going to show the importance of literature and painting, but then you're going to show how films are much more important. And it's easier to show films are much more important. Why do I think films are much more important? An emotional answer would be paintings, novels and everything you always consider superior. But I think movies are much more important. For what reason? Films are more adventurous, no. Visual reason, no, not visual.
More audience.
More audience. That's the point. That's the main point, Prashant. Very good. I care about how many people are affected, how many people are influenced. So literature and painting influence a lot less people than movies. That is why the government also takes the help of movies when it wants to send messages. Or so I believe films have a much wider audience, and that is why they are much more important. Moreover, films in itself, they have multiple art forms. Like they have literature in the form of storylines. They have dancing. Dancing is an art form too. They have music, which is an art form. They have acting. So there are multiple art forms involved in films in itself. Films is a amalgamation of so many art forms, and so that is why also I believe it is superior to actually literature and paintings in that aspect. Is it clear? And the visual aspect also, but paintings are also visual, right, Amit? So we cannot say visual. Paintings also be free. Okay. Is it clear? Are both the partials clear? Partial in favor of films and partial in favor of literature and paintings.
Sir,
Yes.
can you say like that while there are some benefits of literature and painting, I personally believe the films are more important.
That's the same thing we have done here. I cannot agree the films are less important. She said the same thing. I believe films are more important. But benefit seems wrong. Just say that while there are some, while there are some, while there are, while literature and painting is important. Important does not mean that they're beneficial, right? So I would say instead of writing benefits, just say while literature and painting are important in many ways.
Okay.
Okay. I believe that films are much more important, much more crucial or significant. Vital, yes. While literature and paintings are vital in many ways, I feel films are much more advantageous. I won't call them advantageous. Importance does not mean advantages. Importance in here is something else. Films are much more influential. Films are much more important art form. I would say this. Is it clear, this part?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What would you do here now? Let's think. Completely agree now you can write. Completely disagree also you can write. So completely agree means what?
That printing of books, magazines, and newspapers should not be done.
Yes. And now don't get confused. There are two questions here. More and more people are using computers and other electronic devices to access information. This is not a part of the question. Don't take it to be a part of the question. Take only this half. This is a fact. ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोग computers use कर रहे हैं. This is a fact. You cannot agree with it. You cannot disagree with it. Ignore this half. This is the main part that you have to agree and disagree with. So some people believe that printing of books should not be done. So if you agree, you're going to say, yes, printing of books should not be done. If you disagree, you'll say, no, books should still be printed. Printing of books should still be done. So that would be the second half and completely disagree. And what would be partial? Let's try to make partial. Agree and disagree are clear. And also this fact that this is partial. This is a fact. You do not agree or disagree with this. A fact is given to you. Take it like a fact. You do not need play around with it. So first of all, when you're going to make partial, again, answer me this thing. Do you think printing should be done or not? First answer me this thing. Books are important or not? In your important. Okay. So you want to write in favor of books. So you would disagree with this, right? So your main opinion is disagree. So you are writing in favor of books. So write something in favor of computers on the opposite line. So your one side, your second half is going to be in favor of books because you're going to say, let's print the books. So to make partial, the first half has to be in favor of the other side. So write something in the favor of the other side. So what can we write in the favor of other sides, which is what ebooks or accessing information online. So while I agree that it is easier to access information where, right? So it is easier. Books से ज़्यादा easy है or more convenient to access information online. Second half should be in favor of books. I cannot agree. You cannot agree with what?
That the printing of books, magazines, and newspapers must be stopped.
Yes. So the printing of books and books, magazines, and newspapers should be stopped. So think in this way. How do I reach this? How do I make it simple? First, I think this is the method of doing it. First, I think whether I agree with the main side or disagree with it. So in this case, I was disagreeing with it. So I'm going to write, I cannot agree here. This part, I know for sure what I'm going to write. I cannot agree with the second half, with this part. So the first part, if the second part, now I think this second part is in favor of books. So the first half has to support the first side for me to make a partial essay. If I write against the first half in the first side, then it will make a one-sided essay because both the halves will be in favor of books. So then I write something in favor of the first half, which is what? Online access of information. So I say it's easier. So while I agree that it is easier, and you can tell how it is easier. So still I believe that books should be printed.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Can we paraphrase the first? While I agree, it is easier to access information online in like a generalized way. Like
Try it. Try.
while it cannot be denied that uh, electronic devices offer easier access of information.
Yes. You can. It's done really well. Easier access to information. So it's actually done in a much better way. This will fetch you this. This seems very good, very well written. It cannot be denied that. While it cannot be denied that electronic gadgets offer easier access to information. And then you can say, I cannot agree that printing of books, magazines, and newspapers should be stopped. Ultimately, this line is in favor of electronic gadgets. And the second half is in favor of books. So you're making a partial statement. Just check like that. So that's how I decide. Is everyone okay with this? It's a very well written partial statement now. And it's clear to the examiner what we want to say.
But earlier one is symbols. I mean,
Sorry.
like it's easy to recall, no? The
For-
method.
Yes,
First one.
the whatever you're comfortable with, do whatever you're comfortable with. It's yours, like it's your wish. Ultimately, they're saying the same thing. This is saying this in a better way. That is also saying it. Okay. Anyone else? Any doubts till now? The next one is really easy. So we should be like done in 10 minutes now. Not more than 10 minutes. So I hope this part is also easy. The next part, two sides. Some people feel that foreign companies should be shut out and instead the government should help the local companies. So you know what I'm going to do, right? I told you. What am I going to do? What am I doing here? I'm agreeing with one thing, disagreeing with the other. What do we disagree with?
That the foreign companies should be shut.
And what do we agree with?
That government must help local companies.
So let's form an opinion. While I agree that governments must support local companies, um, I cannot agree that foreign companies should be
Shut down.
shut down. You can make that. So this is really simple. You're agreeing with one half and you're disagreeing with the other half. There's an and given here. With one half before the and you agree. With one half after the and you disagree. Or the other way around. Agree, disagree. Ulta. Is it clear? So 50-50.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have a similar question to this. Let's see if you're able to form. If children commit crimes, parents are responsible and they should be punished. Do you agree or disagree? Okay. So form your opinion here. Everyone. What do you think? It's an IELTS essay.
While I agree
You agree with what?
that they should be punished for committing crimes, but I can't uh, agree that
हाँ उल्टा नहीं हो गया उल्टा you agree with this half and disagree with this half. So agree with this half. Rajni, while I agree that
parents are responsible for this.
parents are
Or
responsible for the children's behavior, right?
yes,
I cannot agree that they should be
Punished.
punished. Is it clear? I think she's breaking up. While I agree that parents are responsible for the deeds of their child, I don't think they should be punished on the child's behalf. Yes, very good. So that's the way, right? Do you understand partial here? One half we are agreeing with, one half we are disagreeing with. So they should not be punished. Why shouldn't be they punished? They are responsible though. I agree with that. Behavior depends upon, children's behavior depends upon,
parents-
it depends upon their parents, right? To a large extent. They observe their parents, how their parents behave. They pick up a lot of habits from the parents. So I do think, and it is true that in broken homes or where the parents are not giving good care to the children, children are more likely to commit crimes. So parents are responsible, but it would be wrong to punish them still. Is it clear? This one, 50-50?
Yes, sir.
Prashantam, clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is advantage, disadvantage. I'll cover this with advantage, disadvantage. And then one random question. Okay, I am going to leave it to you. What are you going to do here? So tell me. If individuals are free to do whatever they wanted to do, it could not function. Form me all three: agree, disagree, partial. And what would you actually do in the exam? So take this question. This is a fact. So leave this. Society is based on rules and laws. Everyone knows that. You're not agreeing or disagreeing with this. So ignore this part. You're not going to answer on this part. This is the main question. If individuals were free to do whatever they wanted to do, society could not function. If people had absolute freedom, then the society would not function. Do you agree with this or disagree with this? पहले तो ये बताओ. Do you think society would function or no?
I agree.
Agree. Okay, society would not function then? Prashantam, it will stop functioning?
No.
It will still function?
If there's no rules and regulation, then there might be a collapse.
So you are agreeing, right? If there are no rules and regulations, then so if everyone had freedom, then there would be. Okay. Okay. In the pre, but utmost would be too strong a word, which should people should not be given absolute freedom. Absolute is the word you're looking for. Absolute would be a better word here. Otherwise, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Would you try making partial here? That's my question. Or no?
Partial.
Would you
We
try
can.
partial? Okay. Which way would you make a partial then? Think. Acha, ye batao. Does it seem like a confusing question, difficult question, or is it an easy question?
Can you say like that while there are some benefits of freedom, while there are some while there are some benefit of freedom, but if if the if there is no rules, then the society will collapse.
I
Yes,
agree that
There is.
with absolute freedom, society would collapse. Good. Okay. Is it an easy question or a difficult one? Answer that first.
Difficult.
Difficult. See, abhi sirf we don't have to write our opinion. We have to write the whole essay. I would avoid making partial in this unless and until I'm completely sure about like my opinion, and I can write points for both sides. Like I can write points in both ways. If I can't, I'll try to go simple and one-sided. That's my point here. It will be like a Purge movie. That was an ultimate comment, Hina. Purge movie, yes, it will be like a Purge movie. Has anyone seen Purge? The Purge movies?
I haven't.
You haven't? Okay. So in Purge, what they do is they allow everyone to, if all parts are, even I've seen all parts. So they allow everyone to like, you are free to kill anyone, you're free to loot anyone, you're free to do whatever you want for 1 hour, for 1 day. Like it's a Purge day. It's like a national holiday. You can kill anyone, you can do whatever you want. No, there will be no police. You can loot the banks as well. So one of the movies that started with one person was 1 second late. Like he got out of the bank, one of his foot, half of his foot was in the bank when the 1 day got over. So the police caught him. If he was 1 second faster, then the police would not have caught him. So it's like this. This is the concept of Purge movies, and they're really like everyone kills. It's very gory. It's very bad. So, anyways. So after watching rules are essential, yes, rules are essential. I agree. Anyways, my point is try not to make one's partial essays when the question itself is very confusing, because you will also end up getting confused and it will not make a good essay. So try to make a one-sided essay, especially when the questions are confusing. Okay. Till
Excuse
now,
me.
yes.
Even if we try to go partial, I cannot figure out what are the two sentences that
Sh-
where are they?
He said, while there are benefits to absolute freedom, while there are benefits of absolute freedom, there are some benefits. He's going to write the benefits. For example, it will promote creativity. If we don't put any rules and restrictions on people, I think they'll be more creative. When we have rules and restrictions, we restrict creativity. They don't think outside the box. When people have complete freedom, they are not, they can do whatever, like they can think in any way possible. There are no restrictions on their mind. So it will promote creativity. So that's what the benefit of absolute freedom, in my opinion, would be. I agree that, and you can write that, I agree that societies cannot function well without rules, and societies cannot function without them. Societies would collapse without them, without rules. So that would be the two statements. Good? Clear? Okay. अच्छा, अब जितना भी मैंने बोला था ना, till now what you have taught you to make one-sided partial, you're going to forget all, and you're going to let the points guide you to do it. You are not going to think कि मैंने partial बनाना है, or I'm going to make one-sided. You're going to think of points, and the points are going to tell you whether you're going to go one-sided or partial. A strong essay is not based on strong emotions. It is based on supporting arguments, strong supporting arguments, your strong points. So अगर one-sided के लिए strong points है, you're going to make one-sided. If you have strong points for partial, you're going to make partial. Do not make an emotional answer. Let the points, let your ideas determine which side you're going to go. You have to always start with it is believed by some, always an agree, disagree essay, because you want to show that it's not your point of view. Your point of view comes after that. Right. The first statement is it is believed by some. Then you're going to write I agree or I disagree or your partial statement. So the first statement is the question to you. It is believed by some, whatever. And then you give your opinion. I believe whatever is going to come after that. Okay. So that's the class. I've covered all the essay types, so I agree, disagree here, Amit. Is there a clarity? We'll cover the body paragraphs and conclusions in the next class.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I usually start with it cannot be denied or then the statement. So can we use that or do we just have to use like it is believed by some people?
Okay, what do you mean by it cannot be denied that?
That, for example, the society needs rules and regulations in order to function properly.
If you're saying it cannot be denied, so what are you doing in a way? Aren't you completely agreeing? You've already agreed with the answer. You said it cannot be denied. That means it is true, right? There's no doubt in your head that this is true because it cannot be denied. So then the answer would be you are, in a way, you don't need to write the next statement because you have already done what? You have completely
Agreed.
agreed. So that's
Okay.
wrong in this case.
Okay.
You don't need to write it as believed. You can write it as thought. You can write it as opined. You can say some people consider this. You can write other ways, but it has to come in a way that it is people's opinions. It's not a fact. You have to mention that it is an opinion of certain people and it is not a fact. That's what you need to do.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So
Yes.
Amit, does that answer your question too? Why am I writing it as opine and why cannot I write it as true or it cannot be denied that? Because this is the problem. But in the Preet and other essay types like positive essays, the essays you're doing right now in your class, you can write that. It cannot be denied that. In that essay, it suits.
Okay.
Positive negative development, Amit uses, it cannot be denied that. Problem solution uses advantage, disadvantage, you can say it is true that. You cannot use it is true that in discussion essays or agree disagree essays. For all the other essays, you can say it is true.
I also had one more doubt.
Yes.
Is it better to use it cannot be denied or if we use one cannot deny that is informal?
Mm, both seem nice. One cannot deny does seem a little bit informal. Let me ask ma'am. I would say it cannot be denied seems better. One cannot deny seems a little bit informal. It does. So better
Okay.
to go with it cannot be denied.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, anyone else? Any questions? Okay, I'll upload this class on YouTube. If you have any doubts, you can check it out again. Parts that you missed, you can check it out there. Otherwise, we'll continue tomorrow. See you tomorrow. You're welcome.
Yes.
You're welcome. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
you're welcome.